David, we are live, right?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay.
He'll send a message.
Okay. I'm not able to open the chat, so that's the reason I just thought to confirm.
Don't worry. I'll start it. Don't worry. Wholly.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Encora Elements, where we do workshops and webinars. And we'd like to welcome you today. We have a very special presenter today, Aboli, and she'll be speaking about QA and all the other facets. And I would like to actually briefly introduce Aboli, who is working as a director of QA and comes with 13 years of experience as a quality assurance professional. She has led numerous successful projects, ensuring the highest standards of quality and accessibility. Throughout her career, she has been passionate about continuous improvement and innovation, and very dedicated to enhancing the learning experience through meticulous QA processes. Outside of work, Aboli enjoys hiking and exploring Mother Nature. This is what she uses to chill and come back with fresh ideas. So, without wasting any more time, I'd like to hand the session over to Aboli.
Thank you so much, David, for the wonderful introduction. Am I visible and audible over here?
Yes.
Okay. A little bit more about myself. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, in whichever part of the world you are. So, welcome to today's session. My name is Aboli Longani, and I'm based out of Pune, India. So I come with 13 years of experience in this field, and I currently work as a QA director at Encora. So what I do at Encora, so I oversee the project deliveries, manage a team of QA engineers, and drive business growth. I am passionate about implementing robust testing processes and fostering a culture of continuous improvement. And so today we'll be discussing about the role of QA in e-learning development. So this is the topic. So yes, I'm excited to be here today and look forward to sharing my insights with all of you. So let's get started. Is my screen visible?
Yes, visible Aboli.
Okay. So before we dive into today's session, let's talk about some key takeaways that we will cover. So imagine you are about to release a new book. So before it hits the shelf, you would want someone to proofread it, right? So basically what we do is we check for typos, we make sure the story flows well, and we ensure that everything makes sense. So basically this is very much like QA testing. So let's understand what exactly is QA testing. So I've come up with very basic QA definition, like it's the process of checking if the product like software or e-learning course works correctly and meets certain quality standards. So I would like to say, like, think of it as that crucial proofreading step before we publish a book, and it helps catch errors and fix them, ensuring that the final product is polished and ready for users. Now, let's see why is this important for e-learning courses. So let's break down into some key points. We'll see like how do we ensure quality and functionality, how we enhance the user experience, and how do we create effective and engaging learning experience for our clients. So basically this key takeaways highlights the importance of QA in e-learning development. So for this positive experience, QA plays a vital role in creating impactful and engaging online learning experiences. All right, so let's dive into today's agenda. Okay, so here what we will be covering today. I'll also share some examples along the way, which we will see in the subsequent slides. So first, we will look at the importance of quality assurance in e-learning. Next, we will look at key testing areas. We will basically explore the main aspects that need thorough testing in e-learning. So we will explore this key areas in detail. Next, we will go through step-by-step processes for conducting QA in e-learning. So this will detail each phase from planning to execution and lastly review phase. We will also look at various tools and technologies. So basically it includes different softwares, and methodologies that help to streamline the processes, much like, how would I say, like how a chef uses specific tools to prepare a dish. So that's what we will look in different tools and technologies. Then we will look into key tips for conducting QA review, followed with some case studies and examples. Then we will identify common challenges faced during QA, and we'll see how to propose solutions to overcome these obstacles. After that, we will delve into emerging trends and future directions in e-learning. And then we will discuss how QA practices need to evolve to keep up with these trends. And finally, we will summarize the key points discussed throughout the presentation, and then we will open the floor for any questions you guys might have. So let's get started. Now, since we are relating it with chef and food and books, so I'm just drawing parallels with these examples to make more relatable for all of you. Now imagine you're planning for a big special dinner for your with your friends and family, and you want everything to be perfect, right? From appetizers to dessert. So that's what all quality in e-learning is all about, ensuring excellence in every aspect to create an amazing experience for all the learners. So combining all these elements like content, delivery, accessibility, learner support, that creates a high quality e-learning from start to finish. Let's move on to the next slide. Now, this slide is basically crucial as it outlines the main areas we need to focus during testing process. So the slide effectively communicates that QA is essential in e-learning for two primary reasons. One is maintaining consistent quality, and another one is enhancing learner satisfaction. So we'll see what comes under maintaining consistent quality. So this section basically highlights how QA processes are essential to ensure uniform quality standards across various aspects like of e-learning for content, delivery, and assessment. So what does it mean that a thorough systematic QA practices, e-learning materials are kept consistent and meet predefined quality criteria, which is really vital for maintaining high standard of education. And the another section focuses on the benefits of QA in terms of improving the overall satisfaction of learners. So they also help us in identifying and implementing the best methods to deliver the content effectively to learners and thorough continuous quality checks and improvements. So learners are more likely to be satisfied if we give them a good experience, right? And when learners find the content engaging and the platform very easy to use, the motivation and engagement levels naturally increases. And ultimately, all these factors contribute to higher success rates in online studies as learners are better supported and more engaged. Moving on, now let's explore the key testing areas next. Okay, so how do we ensure this quality standards are met? So just to name a few of them, like functional testing, accessibility testing, user acceptance testing, compatibility testing, and others. And here is a snapshot of different testing areas. So as we all know that the purpose of doing functional testing is to ensure that all the features and functions of e-learning platform or the course works as expected. For example, we say we check for different type of link, we verify the links, we check for the navigation, the quizzes, the multimedia elements, and the interactive features. The next is compatibility testing. So basically the purpose is to check whether the e-learning content performs consistently across different browsers, devices, and operating systems. For example, we do the testing on mobile devices, tablets, and various web browsers, like which are the commonly used browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, etc. And to ensure that the e-learning platform is user-friendly and intuitive, we do usability testing, right? So what we do here is we access the ease of navigation, we see the clarity of instructions, and the overall user experience. Next is accessibility testing. So the purpose behind doing this is that the e-learning content is accessible to all the users, including those with disabilities. Now, for example, we can say we check for screen reader compatibility, say keyboard navigation, and adherence to WCAG, that is Web Content Accessibility Standards guidelines, like we can say color contrast. So basically, we see that all the functions are properly implemented and uh, correctly implemented. Next is performance testing. Now, the purpose here is to evaluate the platform under various conditions. We can say that we check for different types of load times, the speed, the response times, and the scalability when multiple users across the content uses this simultaneously. Next is very important, that is security testing. So the objective behind this is to identify the vulnerabilities and ensure the application is protected against threat and attacks. So basically, our focus is to check for security flaws such as data breaches, or you can say unauthorized access, and vulnerabilities to common threats. Next is very much important, content testing. We all know that the purpose behind this is to verify the accuracy, the relevance, and the quality of e-learning content. So basically, what we focus here is we verify that all the textual, the graphical, and the multimedia content is right, it's correctly implemented, it's properly formatted, and displayed as intended. So basically, this testing is done by comparing with the storyboards or with the PPT provided, or it can be by comparing the older version of the course or another course. Now we'll see the localization testing. Basically, this is to ensure that the application is properly adapted for different languages, regions, and cultures. So now what we do here is we verify the translations. We check for the content, whether it is translated correctly, the cultural references, and for the date and time formats if there are any. Next is LMS testing. The purpose is to ensure whether the LMS integrates well with the e-learning content and tracks the progress accurately. For example, we test for SCORM compliance, we do the tracking of the learner progress and reporting functionalities, and the tracking of scores and the status, whether it is completed or incompleted, can be done with the help of LMS. Lastly, we do the user acceptance testing. Now, to validate whether your application meets the business requirement and it's ready for deployment. So basically what we do here is we check the overall look and feel is tested for consistency in design, in alignment, in functionality, in look and feel, etc. across all the pages and or the module or across the entire course. The GUI is tested according to the client specification document here, or if we have any checklist ready, we can just use it. So this is conducted by end users to ensure that the system performs as expected in the real world scenarios and meet their needs before the application goes live. So basically, each of these testing areas is very crucial for delivering a high quality e-learning experience. And by thoroughly testing in these areas, we ensure that the final product is functional, it's compatible, it's accessible, it's what else we can say? It's secure, it's accurate, appropriate, well integrated, and lastly, it should meet user expectations. Now let's move on to our step-by-step QA processes. So let's take a closer look on this slide. Okay, so this is basically a process in a very structured and phased approach. The process starts from performing analysis to define some test objectives. Then we develop the test plan, designing the test cases and carrying out different kinds of tests and, finally evaluating the process with different test metrics and analytics. So what we do in the prototype stage is all the procedures needs to be followed for quality testing as laid down in the strategy documented, and we'll check whether it is implemented correctly and is evaluated and validated for implementation across the entire project. In the alpha phase, the QA team generally follows the different procedures like unit testing, smoke testing, integration testing to the requirements and scope of the project. So in the UI testing, basically, as we discussed earlier, the overall look and feel is tested for consistency in the design, for alignment, for functionality, the look and feel, etc., across different pages and across the entire course. Then we test the GUI to the client specification document, or if we have any checklist ready with us, we just check with that. Okay, other test like functional regression is also conducted to ensure the conformance of the solution to the client specification. Then the beta delivery what do we do in beta delivery is we validate if the feedback received during the alpha phase and make the changes accordingly. We also do the compatibility testing here to ensure whether our course works across different devices and browsers and operating systems. We also verify the audio testing. We verify the different audio components, such as voiceovers and sound effects, and we see if it is functionally correct and clearly heard. Next, we do the LMS testing. So as we have seen in the earlier slide that basically what we check here is the course tracks the score and status, indicating whether it is marked as complete or incomplete. And lastly, in the goal phase, we validate the feedback received during the beta phase and implement the final changes. And also ensure that users can navigate through the product in a very linear and logical manner without encountering any issues. And then we conduct the testing with actual users, like to ensure whether the product that we have developed meet their needs and expectation and is ready for final release. So basically each phase builds and upon the previous one, ensuring that the course is thoroughly tested and refined before reaching it to the final stage. So this structured approach helps in identifying and resolving if we have any issues very systematically, ensuring a high quality e-learning product. Also, if required, we also furnish clients with all the relevant documents after the final QA analysis is done. Now, moving on. Okay, so this slide focuses the importance of accessibility testing within the context of e-learning. Now, why do we do accessibility testing? So the principle behind this is to provide equal access to learning content for all the students regarding to their disabilities, or we can say physical cognitive abilities. So the primary goal behind this is to create an inclusive learning environment. This involves making sure that the e-learning content is accessible to visually challenged people. So what does it mean? Like the users who are, blind or have low vision or color blindness issues. So what we do here is we need to ensure that all the content is accessible through screen readers, including images, buttons, and links. So we need to provide alt text for images if we have such kind of issues, and descriptions for charts and graphs. Then we also have some users with partial or complete hearing loss issues, which we call as hearing loss. So basically, the testing focus is that we need to provide captions for all the video content and transcript for audio content. So it becomes easy for the users to understand. The third is physical incapacity. So this includes users with, limited motor skills, such as we can say those who have difficulty using a mouse or a keyboard. So for them, we need to ensure that the e-learning platform is navigable via keyboard only, and providing voice control options and making sure that the interactive elements are easily clickable. Next is cognitive limitations. So individuals with learning disabilities, like we also can say attention disorders or memory issues. So using clear and simple language. So for these users, we can avoid jargons or, avoid using complex instructions. So basically the criteria for such kind of users is that we should use very clear and simple language. And lastly, learning deficit, which refers to individuals with what we say, various learning difficulties. So criteria for these people should be using readable fonts and providing options to change the text or spacing, size and spacing. Moving on, why is accessibility testing important? So basically, it highlights and ensures that the digital content and software products are usable by wide range of users, including with the disabilities people as well. So accessibility is important to remove barriers, enabling users to engage and participate in digital world. So basically, this means that making sure that your website, the apps, and other digital platforms are inclusive and it can be used by everyone, like anyone, including individuals with disabilities. Next is accessibility testing ensures that all individuals, regardless to their disabilities, can perceive or can understand, they can easily navigate and interact with electronic information. The third is a software product that meets accessibility requirements is typically more user friendly to everyone. So, by adhering to accessibility standards, we say that the overall usability of the product is improved and it becomes very easy for users to use and more intuitive for all the users to use. Accessibility testing provides some valuable insights into how different users interact with the product. So basically, this feedback helps developers and designers create better functionalities and expand the software in the ways they accommodate a broad range of user needs. So by prioritizing the accessibility, we ensure that the content is usable, it's user friendly, and it's effective for a diverse audience. Moving on, so these are three approaches: evaluation through tools, screening, and inspection and probing. This form a comprehensive strategy for ensuring that the e-learning content is accessible to everyone. And I would say like some of the popular evaluation tools I would name is like Wave, Axe, and Lighthouse, etc. Now let's talk about Encora's approach to accessibility testing, focusing on standards that we adhere to. So at Encora, we ensure that our accessibility testing process is aligned with, established regulations and standards, specifically WCAG and W3C, that is World Wide Web Consortium. And this alignment guarantees that our software is accessible to all the users, regardless with their disabilities. We also meticulously follow the, precise requirement and criteria outlined by the standards and ensure for compliance. So this dedication is not only demonstrate our commitment to inclusivity and accessibility, but also ensures that the product or the course should be usable by a wider audience. So basically, by adhering WCAG and W3C guidelines, we aim to create software for both like inclusive and accessible, fostering a more equitable digital environment. Moving on to the next. Okay, this slide highlights various tools and technologies essential for QA in e-learning. This is very much important slide. So basically it covers different aspects of e-learning from content creation to evaluation. And here is a brief overview of the key categories. So basically this platforms manages and delivers the courses. For example, if you want to name some LMS like Moodle, Blackboard, SCORM Cloud, Canvas, and etc. In the accessibility evaluation tools, I would say tools like JAWS Reader ensure that the content is accessible to all the learners, including with disabilities. So for accessibility testing, the best tool that we use is JAWS. For collaboration and for analytics and reporting tools, platforms like Jira, which helps us in tracking, in analyzing and reporting the performance, the issues and progress of e-learning projects. And lastly, this is very important that these tools like Teams and Slack facilitate the communication and collaboration among the team members, ensuring smooth workflow, and project management. So these categories collectively ensure that the content is effective, it's accessible, and it's well managed. Moving on, all right, let's move on to some key tips for conducting a QA review in e-learning, and let's understand this. Okay, so first, establish a clear QA objective. So here what we do is we have to set some specific measurable objectives for the process, QA process, to ensure the clarity and focus. We need to identify the critical areas to focus on QA review, like content accuracy, the user experience, the technical functionality. In the technical functionality, I would say we check that all the technical aspects function properly. Develop a QA checklist. So having a comprehensive checklist can be really helpful. And the checklist covers various aspects like content accuracy. We ensure that all the content of the course should be, accurate and up to date. The instructional effectiveness, we verify that the learning objective align with the course content. Then we check for multimedia quality, we check for different types of images, the videos, and the audio, which should be relevant and engaging. We ensure that the course is accessible with diverse abilities. And lastly, check for the interactive elements that function correctly and are responsive, that is usability. Next, we'll see very important to engage stakeholders. So it is very crucial to engage all different kinds of stakeholders in the QA process. So this includes designers, SMEs, instructors, learners, etc. Let's continue with some more key tips for conducting a thorough QA review in e-learning. So test technical functionality. This is also very much crucial since we need to test the e-learning platform for functionality. So what we do here is we check for navigation, for interactivity, the multimedia elements, and etc. We also need to ensure that the features work seamlessly across different devices and browsers. We check for accessibility, making sure the course is accessible, including those with disabled people. So we verify that our courses that are developed comply with accessibility standards such as WCAG. Then we have to evaluate the user experience, and it's all about understanding how learners interact with the course. Like here, what we do is we test the navigation, we check for the layout, the design from learner's perspective. This also helps us in identifying any usable issues if we have, and then we make necessary improvements to enhance the overall user experience. Very much important point. Collect feedback and iteratively improve. So here what we do is we should gather the feedback from different stakeholders, like I mentioned in the earlier slide, such as SMEs, instructors, learners, which is very vital. So this feedback provides insights into, we check like what is working well, what needs improvement. So, and by using this feedback for iterative improvements, we can continuously enhance the quality of our courses. So gathering the feedback is very much important here. The document findings and recommendations. Finally, what we do is we need to document our QA review findings. This can include like noting down some strengths or say some weaknesses, and if you have some any recommendations from anybody. So basically it's providing actionable suggestions for improvement, which ensure that our courses evolve and get better over time. Okay, so by including all these criteria in your QA checklist, you can comprehensively evaluate the quality and effectiveness of e-learning courses and ensure that they meet high standards and provide a valuable learning experience to all our clients. Moving on, okay, now that we have clear understanding, let's see a couple of case studies, okay? So this slide presents a scenario involving the development of one of our own online courses for a corporate training program by Canadian railway-based company. So basically the challenges are highlighted in red and the solutions in green, making it easy to distinguish between them. So what was the client challenge? We'll see that we had a leading North American railway company that developed an online training program. So this program was actually aimed at onboarding the new employees and providing ongoing professional development. And the main challenge here was that to ensure that the e-learning platform and its courses are met with high standards of quality and effectiveness. So we'll see how did we, tackle this challenge. So first and foremost, our team, Encora's QA team, conducted comprehensive testing of the e-learning platform and its courses. This included checking for different functionality, usability, accessibility, and content accuracy. And it was like making sure that every aspect of the course is functioning perfectly and it's user friendly. And in addition to, internal testing, also we have performed the UAT, which was a crucial step in the process. So what we have done is employees from various departments actively participated in UAT, just to confirm that the platform meets their specific needs and expectations. So this ensured that the end users uh, formed to collect input from both like learners and instructors, which enabled continuous improvement based on their feedback. Furthermore, QA team implemented monitoring tools to track various metrics such as learner engagement, course completion rates, and assessment scores. So basically, this proactive approach helped in identifying the issues that arose earlier and provided insights for the areas of improvement. So this is a very simple and understandable case study that one of our, leading North American railway company had faced. All right, let's go over this next scenario, which focuses on online course development project for a corporate training program in the healthcare sector. So we'll see the client challenge here was that we worked with a leading healthcare products company based in the US. So basically, they launched an online certification program for nurses and different healthcare professionals. And the key challenge here was to ensure that the e-learning courses adhere to industry standards, the regulatory requirements, and the best practices in healthcare education. So here's what we have done to address these challenges. So our QA team worked with healthcare professionals and the learning experts to review the course content for accuracy, for relevance, and for industry alignment. Then the e-learning platform underwent through compliance check to ensure that the adherence to regulatory requirements like HIPAA, medical ethics, and accreditation standards. And for courses that included, there were courses which had interactive simulations such as, patient care scenarios. Then what our team have done is like they have conducted extensive testing to ensure the realism, the accuracy, and effectiveness in the e-learning experience. And as the demand for the certification program then grew, our QA team conducted compatibility testing just to ensure that the course or the platform remained compatible with various devices and browsers and operating system configurations. So this step was essential to make sure that our courses are accessible to everyone, regardless of what device or systems they are using. Okay, and by addressing all these key issues, we ensured that the certification program that was launched was, robust, it was reliable, and met high standards expected by the client. All right, let's get over to challenges and solutions in digital content and online e-learning, as shown on this slide. Okay, so one of the primary challenge what I see here is the course content should always remain accurate. It should be current and relevant, especially in fast evolving fields, we would say. So to tackle these challenges, what we can do is we can implement a robust process like content review process that involves SMEs, subject matter experts, instructional designers to meticulously review and update the course content. And by using the version control system. This is also very crucial for tracking changes and ensures access to latest information. Another hurdle we encountered is the content should be compatible across various devices and platforms. So for this, we can adopt responsive design principles to ensure that the content adapts well to different screen sizes, and we can, furthermore check the course on various web browsers and perform extensive testing to identify and resolve if we have any compatibility issues. The accessibility compliance is another challenge, making the content accessible to learners with different, people with disabilities. So here the solution is we perform comprehensive testing, I would say, to eliminate barriers. So what we do here is we educate developers on accessibility and best practices. We include users with disabilities in testing as well. Next is interactivity and functionality. So the challenge here is to ensure that all the elements should work seamlessly. So to achieve this, I would say carry out some rigorous functional testing to verify the functionality of all the interactive elements. Also, to achieve this, I would say involve end users in testing to ensure usability, and additionally, test integration with LMS systems for smooth operations. So, in short, by tackling all these challenges with the right solutions, we can create, a strong, accessible, and easy to use learning experience. Okay, moving on. So these are some futures and trends that we are focusing on, and I'll be elaborating more on them. AI integration. Now, as we all know, AI is becoming increasingly important in QA processes, offering capabilities such as automated content, review, I would say personalized learning experiences. Data driven by using the data to understand how learners are doing, like we can say what they are interested in, we can find what they think. So here QA team can find different areas to improve e-learning content and how it is delivered. Automation, which is currently in use in e-learning processes. So the use of automation tools for testing ensures that the e-learning platforms should be robust, it should be functional and user-friendly. VR and AR, as we all know, the immersive technologies are changing e-learning by, providing engaging and interactive learning experiences. So incorporating technologies like AR and VR can create more engaging and interactive learning experience to all the users. Adapting learning platforms. So basically, these platforms tailor the learning experience to individual needs, making learner more effective and personalized. And lastly, social learning integration. So this involves incorporating social interactions and collaborations into different e-learning environments, such as we can say we have different discussion forum groups, group project, peer feedbacks, etc. Now moving on to test automation. Okay, so today we'll also see about automation testing. So we have been focusing on automation testing for past few months, and we are covering the key parameters. And the tool that we use here is Selenium. Since it's an open source tool and no licensing is required, so Selenium and the Selenium combination for different cross-browser compatibility, its open source nature, its language support, and robust testing capabilities makes it particularly and well suited for e-learning modules. And that's the reason we have choose Selenium here. So far we have successfully covered these parameters, like we are able to verify the content, we are able to map the content of menu and transcript, and we are able to do this for particularly storyline courses. Browser testing. So for browser testing, we have done the testing on a couple of primary browsers, majorly used by our clients, and we are working on the remaining ones like Edge, Chrome, etc. And we are working on the remaining ones. So you can see here with the manual efforts, our resources have to put in 2 to 3 hours just to test the menu and its content, the TT content. And after automation, it drastically reduced to just 3 to 5 minutes. So test scripts developed for one e-learning course can be adapted and reused across different projects, which helps us save a lot of time and effort in script development. So this is very much crucial that if you see the downtime like 2 to 3 hours to just remarkably reduced to just 3 to 5 minutes. Moving on with the Gen AI. So we really wanted to understand the impact of Gen AI on people today. Like we have heard a lot of buzz about it, and talking about how adoption of AI is really essential for business to sustain themselves, as well as how AI is very essential for job stability. So I would say some of them are talking about how positives of AI, and some are talking about the negatives of AI. But then we really, so we'll see like where do we really stand by with AI. So Gen AI is used to optimize and improve the efficiencies of different testing areas within the QA process. The first capability that I see here is in content testing, where it helps in automating the verification of content accuracy and consistency. So different AI, so we have different AI algorithms which can, quickly scan and compare the content against the predefined standards, ensuring that all the textual and multimedia elements meet the required quality and is error-free. It also mainly emphasizes on the entire QA processes, like making it faster and more efficient. So by automating the testing procedures and identifying the bugs more, efficiently, Gen AI could improve software quality, and it can also lead to faster development cycles, resulting in more reliable software products. Another significant capability of Gen AI is to support the adoption of software for different languages and regions. So, by leveraging AI, localization testing can be done. It can be automated. We can automate automation. We can test it automatically and check for translation accuracy, the cultural relevance, ensuring that the software is suitable for global audiences. Well, it also has the capability of to provide the data-driven insights. So, by analyzing the larger data sets, or I feel like Gen AI also offers actionable insights and predictions, helping in making the business, informed with the decisions, optimizing operations, and identifying new opportunities for growth. Well, it also further points out role in ensuring accessibility and inclusivity. So it can develop different tools and features that make products and services more accessible to people with disabilities, and help create inclusive content catering to different audiences, diverse audiences. It also has the capability to do the regression testing. Well, I feel that ensuring that the new code changes do not negatively impact existing functionality, and thus we can say like it enhance the efficiencies and accuracies of our testing processes. So basically, overall, it emphasizes that Gen AI has the potential to revolutionize these key areas, leading to improved efficiencies, better user experiences, and more inclusive and high quality outputs. Moving on, so this slide wraps up highlighting the key components required to achieve excellence in e-learning through, quality assurance. So it's not just about checking the boxes, but it emphasizes the need for clear definitions, strategic implementations, the use of different tools and technologies, and proactive solutions that anticipate future trends. So yes, I think this brings us to the end of the session. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Hi, Aboli. There are no questions today,
Okay, then
but I
cool.
think even in the future, if someone watches the video and has a question, please leave it down and I'll definitely let Aboli know.
Sure, David. I'll be happy to answer. Yes.
So thank you
Okay.
so much, Aboli, and thanks to everyone who attended, and thanks to everyone who'll be watching this in the future.
Thanks, everyone, and have a good day ahead. Thanks, David.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.